If you want to sit where Elizabeth McGee and Poppy are sitting, you can come and sit there. And with that, we will start our production.
Shalom. I am Samuel. You know me as a prophet from a very long time ago. I even wrote 2 books that are found in the Old Testament, the Bible. I have some very interesting words from God. The words were spoken a long time ago, but the message sets the scene for what we're about to see today.
Shalom. I am Isaiah. I am another one of God's prophets from a long time ago. I have only 1 book found in the Old Testament. God also told me some very interesting things about what we are going to see today.
Watch, look, listen.
This story is going to change your life.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let us worship God. Please remain seated and sing the first and last verses of O Come All Ye Faithful.
begins over 1,000 years before his birth with words of the prophets. We have already met Samuel and Isaiah. Let's listen to what they told the people about the Messiah. First is Samuel, who lived about 1,200 years before Christ.
The Lord said to David,
I will raise up your descendants, and I will establish his kingdom. He will build a house for the Lord, and I will establish his throne for his kingdom forever. I will be his father, he will be my son. His kingdom shall endure forever.
400 years later, about the year 700 BC, the prophet Isaiah also tells us about the Christ.
Hear then, O house of David, God himself will give you a sign. Behold, a young virgin woman shall conceive a child and bear a son. He shall bear the title of Emmanuel, which means God is with us. God is with us in both the flesh, both God and man.
For unto us a child is born, and the government will be on his shoulders. His name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. There shall be no end to his rule.
Many years before Christ was born, a prophet of God tells us where his birth is to take place.
In the small town of Bethlehem shall come one who is to be ruler in Israel.
But you, Bethlehem, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come from me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times. And they shall live secure, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be one of peace.
As we have learned from the prophets of the Old Testament and the voice of God, the people had been waiting hundreds of years for the Messiah's birth. In the New Testament, in the book of Luke, we read that the angel Gabriel was sent to God to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a young girl named Mary, who was engaged to Joseph, a descendant of David. As he approached her, the angel said,
Greetings, Mary. The Lord is with you. Do not be afraid. God has been watching you. He thinks you got it all together. He thinks you're pretty important, so God chose you.
Well, it's really nice that God thinks I have it all together. Chose me for what?
God sent me to explain all of this to you. And God has his plan. And in God's opinion, you are the one to carry out his plan.
I am just a young Jewish girl. Why does God need me?
Mary, I will tell you if you just listen to me. Of all the young Jewish girls, God chose you to be the mother of his son. This is good news since he sent an angel. Tell you about this. God will send the Holy Spirit upon you, and you will conceive a child.
Whoa, wait a minute. I am so confused. I'm not married. Joseph and I are engaged, but... And did you say I'm going to have a baby? No, I just don't know.
God, this is God's plan. He has all the details worked out. He even gave you a name for the child. Jesus. Your son will be called Jesus, Son of God.
Some angel is talking to me, telling me about God's plan. Holy Spirit, and the conceiving a baby without Joseph being involved. This baby being the Son of God. God has given me the name. Is this what you're telling me?
Yes, you've got it. I told you, this is God's plan. He has all the details worked out. Your son will be called Jesus, Son of the Highest, and his kingdom shall never end.
Okay, angel. I will be a part of God's plan. Yes.
God chose Joseph to be the earthly father of Jesus. The Bible tells us in the Gospel of Matthew that Joseph was a righteous man. His actions toward Mary, his fiancée, revealed that he was kind and sensitive. When Mary told Joseph she was pregnant, he had every right to feel disgraced. He knew the child was not his own. And Mary's apparent unfaithfulness carried a grave social stigma. Joseph not only had the right to divorce Mary under Jewish law, she could be put to death by stoning. Although Joseph's initial reaction was to break the engagement, the appropriate thing for a righteous man to do, he treated Mary with extreme kindness. He did not want to cause any further shame, so he decided to act quietly. But God sent an angel to Joseph to verify Mary's story and reassure him that his marriage was to God, was God's will. Joseph willingly obeyed God in spite of the public humiliation he would face. Perhaps this noble quality made God's choice for the Messiah's birth, for the Messiah's earthly father. One day, a decree went out from the Roman ruler Caesar Augustus to all the people that they should go to their ancestral home to be registered so that the census might be taken. All the people must be counted. They had to obey the law and go to their own city. Mary and Joseph were going to have to travel to Bethlehem. They went to Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea, because Joseph was a descendant of David. Bethlehem was Joseph's home. He had to go to Bethlehem to be counted in the census. The trip from Nazareth to Bethlehem was about 90 miles. The trip would be made with Mary riding a donkey.
Please remain seated and join in singing the first and last verses of O Little Town of Bethlehem.
I am sorry, so very sorry. All We have no vacancies. There are no more rooms in all the city of Bethlehem. Everyone has to come home to Bethlehem for the census. There are no rooms.
But my wife is about to have a baby. Surely there is some place we can stay. We are very tired and have traveled a long way. I am so worried about Mary.
I have no rooms in the inn. Wait, I have a stable out back. All the cattle are in there for the night. There is plenty of clean hay. You can go there. You can stay for several nights.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So while Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem, the time came for her baby to be born. She gave birth to her first son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger in a stable because there was no room for them in the inn. Around Bethlehem, there were shepherds out in the hills keeping watch over their flocks of sheep every night. On the night that Mary gave birth, an angel of the Lord appeared to the shepherds, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were quite afraid.
Please remain seated and join in singing the first and last verses of What Child Is This?
Never be afraid, for I bring good news for everyone. For today in Bethlehem, the city of David, is born a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger stable.
Suddenly there was with the angel many heavenly hosts praising God and saying,
Glory to God in the highest and on earth, peace among men.
The angel went away, and the shepherds said to one another,
Let us go to Bethlehem to see this wonderful thing that has happened.
When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, it was in the days of King Herod. Some men, called wise men, who studied the stars, traveled from the east seeking Jesus. The wise men had been following a star. They traveled to the city of Jerusalem. They went straight to the palace of King Herod.
Please remain seated and join in singing We Three Kings of Orient Are.
We would like if you would give us directions to he who was born King of the Jews. We are eager to worship him. We trust you can give us directions. We've traveled far, following the star for months. We want to worship the newborn King.
When King Herod heard of this, he was very worried and jealous. To him, there was only room for one king in Judea. Quickly, he called for his chief priests and advisors.
Do you know anything about this? What do you know? A baby being born? They call him the Messiah? Where's the Messiah being born?
It's written by the prophets that Bethlehem is the place where Christ is to be born.
How do you know?
Long ago, God said that Bethlehem is the place where that city would rise up to become the nation to guide the people.
Statesmen from the east are calling the newborn baby a king. Are you sure about this? Well then go to Bethlehem, so that I too may go and worship him.
But Herod really did not want to worship the king. He was worried about the news of the birth. Rudely, he dismissed his advisors and began to form a plan to get rid of the newborn king. He relaxed, chuckling softly to himself. After all, he knew something about being a king. Still laughing, he issued his orders. The wise men were brought to a secret meeting with Herod.
Gentlemen, it's not often that we meet such traveled and educated guests. Tell me of your mission. My priests and advisors tell me rumors of a child you see.
It is true, Your Highness. We seek the child who is born King of the Jews. We've come from the east following the star. The stars led us in this direction.
Perhaps I can help you. The baby is being born in Bethlehem.
Bethlehem, thank you, Your Highness. We'll go there at once.
Good, but I must make one condition. Go and look for the child. And once you have found him, tell me so that I too may go worship him.
King Herod was very pleased with this meeting. When the visitors from the east found the child king, he would get rid of the child. Then everyone would know Herod was the king of Judea. The wise men quickly left Jerusalem. Then they followed the star until it came to rest over the place where the child was. Trembling with excitement, they knocked on the door of the house.
Kind sir, is he here? King of the Jews?
King? What king? Mary. Joseph, I understand. Let them in. They have come to see our son. I will explain this all to you later. I instituted an angel, you, me, and the Holy Spirit, and our baby. Remember your drink later. Please remain seated and join in singing Away in a Manger.
Song
Jesus. They brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to baby Jesus. The wise men, faces still shining with wonder and delight, returned to their own country by another road, because they had been warned in a dream not to go back to the evil King Herod. They did not want King Herod to harm the newborn king.
Joseph, when the angel told me that God had chosen me to be the mother of his son, and you to be his earthly father, the angel told me that God had a plan. All of this is a part of God's plan.
This is the answer to my dream. This is God's plan. This story is going to change your life.
Just as the shepherds and wise men sought the Christ child, so we seek him today, and we bring him our gifts of love, worship, and service, just as Mary and Joseph were chosen to be part of God's plan. God planned all of the details of birth for the Christ child. You and I are also part of God's plan. Please stand and sing together, Joy to the World, and remain standing for a closing prayer. Be with each one of us as we prepare our hearts to receive him. Help us to share his love with those who are lonely, hungry, or ill, and to remember that Jesus taught us that it is more blessed to give than to receive. We thank you for our friends, our teachers, our families, and your church. Be with us during this Advent season as we prepare to celebrate Christ's birth. Help us always to seek him and be part of God's plan. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.